while I've been one of those people, you know, put the chairs out, put the table there for the speakers, I helped very early on with the Anarchist Black Cross that was set up around, you know, well, you'll know the history, I'm sure, but it was the history of an attempt to help Spanish anarchists who were in prison, who were getting no help or no support from anywhere. And we felt it was important that they should. This was in the 70s. So I helped with that. I helped with a paper called Black Flag. I helped put out a paper called the Cambridge Syndicalists. I was involved in various strikes and disputes as an anarchist. I just did things as an anarchist. I also took part in the seamy side of anarchism, the bad side of anarchism, the constant internecine warfare. And I think it's important for people to realise that no matter what your belief, that's always possible. So I'm unfortunately, for my sins, did. But I also, you know, learnt a lot about history. I began to be fascinated by anarchist history. Really because when I mixed with older men and women who've been anarchists, much of the history about anarchists didn't reflect their experiences, didn't reflect their life and what they'd done and who they were. And around, you know, the late 1980s, 1990s, I became more and more interested in anarchism, in its history, rather than just its practice. And I began to realise how important anarchist history was, or the history of anarchism. And I think it was something that drove me in my life and made me aware that wherever you were yesterday, you're here today, and that there is a link, and how you see today, how you look around you. And that's for every belief, that's for every movement, that's for every, whether you're a Christian, whether you're a Democrat, whether you're a social democrat, whether you're an anarchist. How you got there and how your movement got to where it is today seems to me ever so important. And I began to realise that it was very important that we as anarchists didn't lie about it, didn't create myths and stories, but told the truth. Because for me, anarchism was always telling the truth, and looking at things as far as you could honestly, and accepting that, you know, we really messed up there, we were stupid, or I didn't think that was very good, or whatever. If we couldn't tell the truth, what was the point of setting ourselves up as something new and hopeful, and believing that we could create a better world? So my involvement with anarchism was always a very practical one. You know, you put the stamps on when you're posting out Black Flag. You do all those work, that sort of grunt work, as often and as long as you can. You know, you get involved in all sorts of issues. You fight fascism. You get involved in sort of pro-abortion work. Whatever, you get involved in liberation struggles. As you get older, you can't do that all the time. You know, you can't keep going to meetings every night and every day. And as I say, I became more and more interested in history. So that's where I am now in my life. And of course, I can say openly to the camera that as an anarchist, my life has not been a success.